Welcome to John Sue and Michael Rosmer's video number 3 on the Battleathon inspired by Gary Vaynerchuk. So Michael, you had mentioned on your previous video about logic and relationships, causal relationships, and also the Warren Buffett premium. So I just wanted to ask you, how does somebody, especially a novice investor, know causal relationships? Because everyone talks like they know investments, but how do you know if this guy actually knows investments or not? Like, what questions do you ask? What things do you pay attention to? And also, with logic and what's that thing? Logic and drivers. Most people don't really know the logic and drivers theories, and often when you kind of look at logics and drivers, they are really based on fixed circumstances, and if anything those things change, then doesn't that kind of make the logics and drivers and the predictions irrelevant? Just something I was thinking about. And also, would it be good to short the Warren Buffett stock when, say if you hear Warren Buffett is sick or something? Because if you're paying a premium to get in because he's there, I guess, that premium is going to disappear if he's going to be on his way out. So those are my questions to you, Michael. And today's topic for me, from this book, is The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. And we're talking about self-confidence today. And I wanted to, talk about the negativity of self-confidence, and also how to actually get it, not how the book actually says you get it. I'm just going to talk about that, and then kind of how you cycle out of things, kind of how the cycle of not having self-confidence feeds the cycle of having self-confidence. And it's pretty much like a gerbil wheel, and I'm going to keep drilling that in because most people in life start with no self-confidence, and they're kind of like all tough on themselves, wondering why they don't believe in themselves. So the number one advice in here that I really don't like is the development of self-confidence starts with the elimination of this demon called fear. And they talk about the fear of poverty, old age, criticism, loss of love of someone, the fear of ill health, and the fear of death. And really, can you really get rid of fear? Get rid of negativity? And I think everyone's got, good and bad moralized, and they're kind of understanding it from the wrong definition. When you look at how I see good and bad is, good and bad are evolutional, sides on the wheel of evolution. Good things help us actualize our potential, and bad things help us develop and expand our potential. And when you think about it, if it's evolutional, you're not going to be avoiding that. It's kind of like, bad things help me become, evolve and become stronger to survive, as opposed to, oh, that's bad, that hurts my feelings, I don't feel good, I got to run from that. When you look at it from that perspective, of course you're going to run from that, right? But when you see it as evolutional, you're like, no, that's what I got to go through, and I got to get on that gerbil wheel, and I got to run that wheel off so I can go to the next level of crazy. So, I remember when I was like a kid in kindergarten, I grew up in an age where, racism was very rampant. And, I remember one day in kindergarten, all the white kids were calling, there was enough of them, they were calling me racial names like Nip and Chink, and, pulling their eyes back in school just kind of when the teacher's not looking. And I can't remember what the day was, but I remember one day, in my mind, I promised myself, no kid is ever going to call me Chink or Nib, and I'm going to let them get away with it, and that I would knock them out, or not, try my best to knock them out. And since that day, up to grade 6, I was knocking kids out. 6 years of knocking kids out. And that really, the weird thing is, like this, those 6 years were very foundational in me, I would say, developing my self-confidence. Because what I learned, in life now, reflecting back, is anyone who's got true self-confidence has been disrespected in their life and pushed beyond a point of disrespect where they finally said, enough is enough. I'm not going to allow myself that to happen. It's kind of like women dating men who are, treat them like toys. There's a point in your life when you're like, screw this shit, no more. Or you work at a shitty job and you're like, I'm not working for these peanuts anymore. Screw that. I'm quitting my job and not taking this crap from this guy. Whatever it may be. True self-confidence is not developed until you have the friction, that is developed from being disrespected. Right? So really, everyone kind of starts off on the shitty end of the stick with no self-confidence. And then they build it up and grind away, get disrespected beyond that tipping point, and then you start to spill over, develop your self-confidence, and then as the self-confidence develops, you become an egomaniac, which up until grade 7, I was bullying people. Then I got a taste of being bullied. And then I was like, oh, okay. Then, as the self-confidence develops, then, the balance wheel of taking away that self-confidence so it doesn't get to my head, I start to experience of getting bullied. And then I'm like, oh, okay, to reflect upon what it is to be bullied. And then I'm like, oh, okay, then that's not fair. And it helps me see both sides of the coin. And then it kind of makes me more even out. Not egomaniac, a lesser version of egomaniac, and a lesser version of somebody who gets, walked all over. So that's my thoughts is, you just got to push through. You got to get disrespected. And that's the only way you're going to actually get the self-confidence about yourself. And yeah, that's pretty much what I think is, to have the positive of something, you got to go through the negative. And then it's just like a constant gerbil wheel. Thanks.